Oh, YouTube, this is Noah Tennant, and
I'm JWT Cosplay.
today we're just talking about how he started cosplay, some stories, and some fun stuff, and maybe we'll share our experiences. Sorry about that. What? How did you start cosplay?
I started cosplaying about 6 years ago now. I was 15 years old, and I basically just threw together a really cheap Spider-Man suit out of stuff in my closet, and threw it together for a local convention. And it just kind of hooked I got hooked ever since.
Well, I was like 14 when I started. It's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
Mine was Spider-Man as well. I started with actually the TASM's homemade suit.
Oh, that's neat. I did the homecoming homemade suit.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
How did you start at TikTok?
I didn't really start doing TikTok until maybe a couple of years ago or so. I got on that one a little bit late to the party. And I'm still kind of feeling that one out. I don't know if I have quite as solid of a grasp on TikTok as I do on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it. It's neat. Getting a better reach with people and finding new audiences and stuff, which is nice.
Yeah. Hopefully this will work. This video
Yeah.
will bring more. There's a lot of people who are interested in my series on my YouTube channel. It's very honored you accepted my message. I was surprised you messaged back.
I appreciate for reaching out, man.
Yeah, no problem. What would be your future cosplay if you could do anything?
If I could do anything, man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'd like to do like a really high quality MCU Iron Spider at some point. I think that'd be really fun, but that's just a really what's that?
Like with mechanical legs.
Yeah, with the back legs and everything. That's just a really demanding costume as far as funds and materials go. There's a lot of really complicated stuff you'd need to go into with sort of replicating the look of all that.
Especially the scales and all that.
Yeah, the scales are a lot of work when I did mine back in
just hearing that
2018. But yeah, a lot of puff paint.
Yeah. Who would you say your comfort cosplay would be?
I feel like I'm the most like myself as Spider-Man. I feel like the most comfortable, I guess, in that one. I would say, just as me. Um, one of the great things I think about not just like cosplaying Spider-Man, but the character himself is, he has that mask and it covers his whole face. It's so you can really be yourself when you don't have to worry about people recognizing you in public or having to hide your emotions and everything. Having that kind of I guess security to it. I don't know. It takes away some of the shyness, I guess, that would come with some other cosplays like Superman or Batman, where your face is a lot more exposed or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Who would be your favorite actor who played Spider-Man? That could be from the video games, the cartoons, a lot.
Everything. I really like Josh Keaton as Spidey. I think he has a really good voice for the character. As far as like the live action movies go, I really enjoy Tom Holland. I really enjoy Andrew Garfield. I'd say those are probably my three favorites for the character. I think they nailed what I find interesting about him.
That's awesome. I'm a big Andrew Garfield fan. Almost everything I do is like him.
Yep.
Some holes in everything.
Yep.
What would be your favorite line you do as Spider-Man?
Don't know. That's an interesting question. I've never really been asked that. It's not really something I've ever given much thought, I guess. And when it comes to cosplaying, it's mostly just a really like off the cuff kind of natural sort of response that I get, to people and from people.
Yeah, well, say what comes in my mind first thing when I'm wearing that suit.
Hmm. Yeah, there's for Spider-Man at least. I don't know if I really have too many lines that would come to my mind as far as like things that I would typically say for a character that's maybe not so much like myself, like for a character more like I don't know, has a more refined personality, I guess. Somebody like Superman or Batman, where it's not you're not so much of a motor mouth and everything. It matters a lot more of what I think you'd say as the character and what you wouldn't say as the character. Um, and so stuff like that, I don't know. I think that's a little bit more of a little bit more of like a conscious effort to be careful of what I say
Yeah.
in those costumes, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to like for example, if you stub your toe, you're like try not to say.
Yeah,
You're not Deadpool. You can't say anything.
yeah. You gotta be yeah. You definitely around kids and stuff too. You gotta be careful of kind of language you use and everything. But I really enjoy Spider-Man because of how versatile he is like that. He really can joke around with just about everybody in that character, and it doesn't have to be too serious, but it doesn't have to be too out there. Um, it's a nice sort of gray area, I guess, where being serious and being a bit more jokey is both pretty acceptable, I think.
If you had to go to meet any of the Spider-Man actors, who would it be?
Hmm. I'd really like to meet Andrew Garfield. I think that might be my pick. I think he'd have the most interesting stuff to say. I think about the character. I think he has uh, a really intimate understanding of who Peter Parker is. And I really respect that and appreciate that.
I love his speech he did in that Comic-Con all those years ago.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. San Diego.
Yeah, it's
Um,
there you go, true.
yeah,
That was the one that motivated me to cosplay, especially
hmm
his character.
his character was what got me into the character of Spider-Man. Was Andrew Garfield's iteration. It's probably the most special, I would say, to me
Yeah.
of maybe all of them. Honestly, it
Andrew Garfield changed my life because I
yeah
seen other projects, and then when I saw them in theaters and as TASM in 2012, and I'm like, this is real. This feels like
yeah
you know him. You see him in the street, and you're like, oh, what's up?
yeah. He added a lot of really interesting layers, I think, to the character.
Um, is there any cosplay advice you would give to young cosplayers as you are?
As far as cosplaying advice goes, um, the best thing I can suggest is to just make sure whatever you're doing to have fun with it. I mean, if you're not having fun, I mean, really, why bother? Like, it's an enjoyable hobby and it's a really welcoming community, which I really appreciate. It's a very encouraging community of people and creators and artists, and we really don't discriminate any real grounds. Um, it's never too late to start, you know.
Yep.
You always got to start somewhere. That's something I'd always like to encourage to remember is don't get caught up looking at somebody else's suit and going, man, I wish I could make that, or man, I wish I had something like that, or whatever. Mine sucks, or whatever. You make your suit or whatever. You buy it. It doesn't really matter. If you feel good in your suit, then that's what matters the most. I think is just being able to enjoy yourself and to help others enjoy around you as well. Um, is just keeping a positive attitude and environment about things.
That's very moving right there. Say that right now. I'm trying to like, what? It's hard to find people who are honestly understanding how cosplay is, and I can tell you, I've been doing it for years, and it's hard to find people like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it was because I told my fan base on my YouTube channel about we're going to have a new member of the family. We call it family when somebody comes in.
Yeah.
And they said, let's pitch in and give them something. And then they pitched me a suit pattern for you.
Oh.
It was all, we can talk later about that when this is all over.
Yeah, sure.
Is there any questions for me if you want to know about me?
How did you get into cosplay? What was that like?
I was, like I said, watching Amazing Spider-Man and then watching a lot of behind the scenes movies and like the Joker and like how Joker reacted in Batman '89. Tobey Maguire had some his hints of how they did the texture of suits. That gave me the idea of like puff painting, stuff like that, details like that.
What do you think is the cosplay that you're the least like in person?
I think the Joker, to be honest, because of
That's good, at least.
the psychotic side of me, at least.
Yeah,
He's a
I
crazy.
always find that interesting. I like listening to people that like to branch out of their comfort zones and stuff as far as like cosplaying and acting goes and everything. I think that's a really interesting kind of way to explore more about yourself, you know?
Is there a plan for you to have like a custom Spider-Man suit, like your own design?
I have a pattern that's been made for a couple years or so, of my own design, but I think I might want to rework it to an extent. Never gotten it made into a suit, but I'd like to eventually. I think it'd be a neat thing to do, and I think it would add a lot to really establish um, a more unique brand, I guess, for my internet persona, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I started to do. If you hop on my TikTok, I'd only posted like 3 videos on the suit because I just recently had it repaired because the company didn't let me get a replacement from it, so I had to replace the zipper, one side of the zipper because it was a U shape. That means it looks off with one different kind of zipper, and I'm like, it's Peter Parker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the
And
charm, I think.
have that struggle.
Roll with it. Yeah. It's good to not dwell on the negatives and stuff like that. Good to keep a positive attitude about stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a really respectable quality to have.
Was there any like cosplayers like on TikTok, YouTube, or anywhere that inspired you to drive more further?
Yeah, there's a few good names I think out there of when I was younger, T Stunning Spidey, I think that's still his handle. But he was a semi-local cosplayer for me and was a big he was a big inspiration for me as far as putting on a suit and going out and hanging out with people at conventions and stuff goes. He was a really positive figure in the cosplay community. He was a really encouraging and welcoming person. Um, he was very personal about a lot of interactions I had with him. It was very, he'd listen and he'd talk and he'd understand and everything. He was just a really encouraging figure there. And as I've gotten a bit more experienced, I guess, in the realm, I've started making a few more friends and acquaintances and stuff through the internet and stuff. So people like Vanilla Ice, Jake is a pretty good friend of mine now. I really like his stuff, and he's a really encouraging person, I think, as well. Amazing Roku is a really positive figure. He's a really encouraging person. He does a lot of really great cosplays and stuff too.
I don't know if you heard of the Philadelphia Spider-Man.
Yeah. I know.
Big fan, favorite of my YouTube channel. It's funny.
Yeah.
He always sometimes pops on and says hello to everybody.
But yeah, there's a lot of really.
They always ask for him to come back.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, but they always ask him to come back and stuff, and it's funny. And I mean, so you might get the same kind of feel.
I'd be happy to come back. I don't get as many opportunities to talk about this stuff as you probably think I would. I'm always happy to talk about this stuff, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Thought I had my suit behind me. I'm like, where's that?
Do I have? I've got my mask here.
Yeah. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
off. I'm trying to find mine. Here, let me see if I can grab it. Oh, yeah, he's a pain butt find right now, but I'll probably find him later. He likes hiding tricks on me.
I got you.
I have these. Show, I guess.
Oh, those are the Disney Parks ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Those are nice looking.
I'm actually trying to give away my second pair of them.
Yeah, the Spider-Man cosplay community especially is just a really welcoming and encouraging and a very open space, which I really appreciate. I'm a member of a Discord server I joined somewhat recently, I'd say last year or so, that are really encouraging and welcoming and kind community of people, really open with their methods and tactics of how they go about replicating designs and creating specific looks. And there's a lot of threads on websites like the Replica Props Forum.
Yeah.
That's a really big one for as far as cosplayers go, is just a big forum of just people refining and updating cosplays and stuff. And it's just a really impressive thing to watch people just go from throwing together jeans and t-shirts and tennis shoes and stuff and a crudely sewn mask up into like practically movie level stuff. It's a really fun journey to watch with some of these people, especially with younger cosplayers. I know people that are 17 years old or something making fully sewn from scratch spandex suits that look phenomenal. It absolutely blows me away. Blows anything I did at that age out of the water. There's some really impressive figures today.
Yeah. Like before we wrap this up, and we can talk afterwards. But what was your reaction of No Way Home with all three spiders?
Trying to think of what would be the best reaction to tell, because there's quite a few reactions I had truthfully to it. But I mean, when the rumors started, I didn't believe it at first for a good while, up until a few months or so before the movie was coming out, where I was like, okay, they're probably in the movie. But seeing Andrew Garfield show up in that movie for the first time again, it felt right. It felt like I was like seeing an old friend for the first time in a good while.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably the best it could have felt with a character like that. And I think they did a really good job honoring Andrew and Toby's characters and their arcs and all of the involved characters in their movies as well. Nothing really felt cheapened or like they were going back on anything. It felt very natural, I thought.
Was there anything you want to say to everybody on this before we go?
I'm JWT Cosplay. If you don't already follow me, I'd strongly encourage checking out my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok. They're all at JWT Cosplay. And yeah, thanks for checking my stuff out. And thanks for having me on here. It was a really good conversation. It was fun to do.
Yeah, no problem. Maybe next time we can I can show you the suit.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Okay, well, this is Noah Tennant signing off.
JWT Cosplay.
Bye, guys.